From the dimensional rift in the secret realm that was 100 meters high, countless arms stretched out like a tide and was as high as a huge mountain. In the center of the wave of arms, there was a woman's head, and two beautiful hands like masks covered her eyes. He was aware that the other party was on the other side of the rift, influencing him across the two dimensions. With such terrifying power, what the hell was it? Was it a monster? And if it was it also an overlord? If this mysterious creature's true form happens to appear out of the spatial rift, he will probably be on his knees in that very first second. The woman's head seemed to feel Ihi's approach. She opened her eyes, finally having enough with this young human's meddling. Under such a terrifying stare, she lets out a scream as loud as the glorified, disfigured banshee she was. Her screams made Ihi felt as if his brain was about to explode. Even though he had blocked out the giant anthropomorphic hearing, the eerie scream could still reach his brain. The giant howled in pain, and Ihi tore open the flesh at the back of its neck and crawled out. The filthy monkey had killed so many people, and now it wants to leave just like that. He was like a madman, and with only endless murderous intent and madness in his eyes. He roared and added that the fucking monkey was dreaming if it thinks he would just accept that. He poured all of his atomic energy into the giant's body. And the giant's body with Demora's genes immediately entered an overload mode. All of his flesh and blood was melted by the blue magma-like blood, leaving only a huge skeleton to support its movements. He controlled his giant's flaming body to the edge of the rift and shot out from the neck like a missile, burning all the jade arms, blocking his way to ashes. When the giant's body was about to step into the rift of the secret realm, he faced the head of the woman with covered eyes and gave her the middle finger. He gave her a mocking smile and added that it was a local specialty of his hometown, a nuke to light up her ass, and he hopes the bitch likes it. The woman with her eyes covered stared directly at the flaming giant which had entered the secret realm like the harbinger of death. At that moment, her screaming session intensified, but it was out of sheer desperation and shock. Then, the dazzling blue and white explosion flooded everything. Part of the aftermath of the explosion poured out from the rift in the secret realm, blowing the weak E hundreds of meters away like a fallen leaf. The blue-white light passed through the rift in the secret realm, dispersing the nuclear explosion smoke and dust that filled the outside world, like a small sun rising in the nuclear explosion wasteland. This obvious phenomenon was soon noticed by warriors several kilometers away. A warrior pointed out uncertainly that the rift in the secret realm seems to have exploded. Another also discovered a surprising issue. Something unexpected had happened because the beasts were suddenly in chaos. You see, the beast tide obeys the leadership of high-level monsters and has demonstrated a high level of organizational ability in previous battles. But now they were like a colony of ants that had lost their composure, either attacking blindly or fleeing in all directions. All experienced warriors realized what this meant. The Overlord-level beast was dead. They wondered if Mayor Huangqing's plan had succeeded. Everyone cheered up but stayed sharp, not wanting their mayor's sacrifice to go to waste. The city of Anqing can be saved if all the remaining beasts are eliminated. The carcass of the blood-eye black ape was finally destroyed by the giant nuke, halting the flow of beasts through the rift into An City. And the remaining warriors who were originally showing signs of fatigue due to the high-intensity battle were suddenly revived as if they had been injected with chicken blood. They finally saw hope from the dark sea of beasts. The siege lasted a full day and night, until every beast was hunted down. The exhausted warriors were finally treated by the medical staff after the siege ended. Somewhere on the battlefield, Chu Zhou sat silently with a brutally battered and bloodied body. The damage assessment showed that although An City won the siege, it was at a devastating cost. Nearly 80% of the warriors and soldiers were killed or wounded. Meanwhile, at the site of the previous nuclear blast, a young man finally opened his eyes just when the city finally got a respite and a new life. He sat up, a bit disoriented. He wondered just how long he had been unconscious. After pouring all his remaining atomic energy into the giant's body to create a small nuclear bomb, his body fell into a sleeping state. Fortunately, the place where he lost consciousness was full of fresh nuclear radiation and residual atomic fission energy which recharged him after he depleted his energy. This battle was extremely brutal, so much so that Mayor Huang had to even intervene himself, luring the blood-eyed black ape to the nuclear explosion zone and obliterate it. Thanks to that, Ihi was able to use the home field advantage in the nuclear explosion zone and self-destruct repeatedly to finally kill the blood-eyed black ape before the woman's head tried to rescue it. With the little vitality left in its magic core, it was impossible for it to heal itself. The subordinate beast tide chose to retreat because they sensed the death of the Overlord. Even though Ihi's infinite monster template was strong, it still couldn't match an Overlord-level beast. Winning this battle was sheer luck, advantages, and fate combined. He clenched his palms, feeling the surging atomic energy rushing through his body. Given enough time, he will reach the peak of martial power in Xia Kingdom. However, this time the secret realm riot throughout Xia Kingdom has given him a sense of urgency. He has no time for growth. He doesn't know when the next template will be available, and it may not be a gold tier or higher if he draws it. It seems that the collection of plant attribute magic cores needs to be accelerated, because merging with the planet Demora's template was the fastest way for him to become a top-tier warrior. There is also the Shenhuang martial arts. Since the infinite monster templates can help him cheat in the Wuyun space, he must also grasp the martial artist's extraordinary system. Although the growth period of Shenhuang martial arts was slower than that of his template abilities, its potential was also extremely high. After all, this was a cultivation system in the high martial arts world, and perhaps being transported to this world was part of his destiny. On the wasteland, he looked at the city in the distance that had just experienced war and silently planned for the future. 1 month after the beast invasion, and city had mostly resumed operations. In the city center, a bronze statue several tens of meters high of the former mayor, Huang Qing, was built. This was for the citizens and the future generations to remember the great warrior who dedicated everything and saved the city of Anqing. He also learned about the damage in other cities from the news. On his smartphone, he was informed that a total of 18 cities in the entire Xia Kingdom were attacked by the beast tide, and 12 of them were completely destroyed. After the S-level secret realm appeared in Guanshan City, the entire city was shrouded in an undetectable and impenetrable gray fog. At this point, Guanshan City was completely cut off from the outside world. The imperial capital selected 30 warriors and 5 grandmasters from the national warrior organization named the Daxia Dragon Bird, and went to investigate under the leadership of Grandmaster Du Jingming. Xia Kingdom's strongest national defense level warrior, Fu Hongsheng, was on standby outside the S-level secret realm. After 12 hours, none of the 36 warriors left Guanshan City, so Fu Hongsheng went into Guanshan City in person. Finally, after 8 hours, the seriously injured Fu Hongsheng walked out of Guanshan City with the 2 surviving masters. Xia Kingdom also listed Guanshan City as the 11th life-forbidden zone in the world, and 1.8 million people in the city were confirmed dead. Countless lives eventually turned into cold numbers of casualties, appearing on Yihe's smartphone. This was the most serious invasion of the secret realm that had caused the Xia Kingdom the most damage since spatial rifts appeared. For the first time, He realized the dire survival situation of humanity. Even National Guardian-level martial artists were barely enough. He can't wait any longer. Only by possessing great power within himself can he survive in this turbulent world. He turned off the news and called the only person he knows that has access to the items he needed. At the Liu family's mansion, He asked Qinlan for a favor. Qinlan laid lazily on a leather sofa. Her silk pajamas were a little revealing, showing her perfectly toned pink shoulders. She guessed that He wants to learn the remaining 2 Shenhuang martial arts of the Liu family. He felt a little nervous upon hearing this. Was this the image Qinlan had of him in her mind? He replied that that's not the case. He would like to ask her to help him acquire some high-quality plant attribute magic cores, preferably blue magic cores or even purple lord-level magic cores. Plant-type magical beasts were already rare, and lord-level magic cores were even more precious. He has a really big appetite. Anyway, since he wants these items so much, what can he offer in return? This reply was not a no, so He grew more confident. He stated that at the beginning of each school year at the Imperial Capital University, there's a secret realm assessment for freshmen. He can team up with Lu Qingzhu and help her get first place. When He made this declaration, Qinlan's lazy posture was immediately alert, her gaze becoming sharper. He was underestimating the top talents from other provinces and cities. Her daughter's ability was only above average among the freshmen of the Imperial University in previous years, not even in the upper reaches. Although He had outperformed Lu Qingzhu in the competition, he was still short behind the top geniuses. He gave a sly smile upon hearing this. He boldly stated that Qinlan chose him to revitalize the Liu family, right? He can write an IOU. If he doesn't get first place in the freshman class, he will work like a slave for her in the Liu family and provide for her retirement. Qinlan got up from the leather sofa and made her way towards the window. She agreed to help He just this once.